This tweet caught my attention and it was from the Future Fest team. Somehow they managed to team up with Kaskade, the top of my list electronic dance music artist of all time, really. I've been listening and been influenced by his music over the last decade and I absolutely love him. And the fact that they're bringing out this virtual world where you can join in and experience Kaskade, his music and his DJ set is going to be absolutely amazing. I absolutely love what the team are trying to achieve here. Now, we also do have an NFT giveaway, and the NFT is essentially your ticket, your utility. There's that utility there. It's your ticket to get into the virtual space and experience what this is like. So make sure you listen to the end to find out how you can join in and get one of those NFTs to experience what they're trying to build out here. They're making it really accessible for people to join in and experience all this. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let's get into this interview.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
I have Matt and Pablo joining me from a really cool project called Future Fest, and I just discovered this one, and I thought, oh, okay, it's another one of these metaverse kind of things, but no, they managed to somehow get one of my favorite DJs headlining in their experience, Kaskade, and I'm so excited to talk about this because I have no idea how you guys pulled this off. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So let's get into a little bit of your backgrounds first and how you got into the Cardano and crypto space. Matt, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into Cardano?
Yeah, actually, funny story there. Our whole team, we started on this project maybe about 6-7 years ago, and we started off as like a VR company trying to make these virtual festivals actually, and we pivoted around 2 years ago, and we've been doing like these shows. But yeah, I mean, it's really getting into the Cardano space. It was actually Pablo that got us all in there. I don't know, Pablo, if you want to tell your backstory, because I mean that's like the perfect lead into how we all jumped in.
Yeah, let me get started with. I got into Cardano last year, probably around February. And that's when I was just buying the coin. I had no other reason to use it because there wasn't, anything else to do. And then I got into CNFTs maybe just after Space Buds, but I was still very skeptical of the whole space. I wasn't sure what an NFT was. I was still learning a lot, which is funny because one of our partners, SpacePia, is actually, they introduced us to NFTs, the whole idea of the concept. But I was still very skeptical about the whole thing. And then with time, I just kind of started learning more about CNFTs, and then started learning more about the community that was starting to kind of flourish around them. And then I realized that nobody was doing any TikTok content for CNFTs specifically. So I created Cardano Poppy, and I started using that name as mine to kind of start talking about CNFT news, spread awareness, spreading word about the projects that I liked, talking about teams and all the things that they were bringing to the space. And over time, I just kind of became a well-known person in the community. And that's when, around the time where Future Fest started coming up with the idea of how we wanted to start integrating NFTs into our company's formula. And when it was time to pick a blockchain, I was like, let's go Cardano. And I think we can kind of just start there.
All right. So let's pull it back a little bit. And for anyone that doesn't know what Future Fest is, can we get a overview of what Future Fest is and what you guys are trying to achieve with it?
Yeah, so we throw essentially interactive digital concerts for music communities. Pretty much what that involves is, we'll have an artist performing, either live or pre-recorded on a green screen, and we'll beam them into our worlds built out in Unity. And what that allows us to do is that it allows the audience to actually interact with the world and the artist in real time. We have two distinct experiences right now that we have nicknamed Level 1 and Level 2. Level 1 is essentially an interactive live stream. So something that's, so imagine like a Twitch live stream that you're watching that you can also interact with, you can trigger buttons, or you can press buttons to trigger things like, hey, fireworks, exploding in the sky, or confetti raining from the, from the sky as well, all the way to really custom interactions like hype meters that, change the world once, people fill up a meter, to we recreated Among Us in one of our experiences, just because the community was really ingrained in that game. Um, our level 2 experience is what you would think of probably closer to like an actual metaverse experience where you can actually become a character, run around, socialize, drive vehicles, play around, and that's something that I can actually show off in a little bit here. But yeah, I mean, we're really excited for that one because we built out these crazy beautiful worlds that you can explore, that you can actually play your friends in. And the unique thing that we've done with this is that we've created this platform where these two experiences are like kind of interchangeable. So if you're watching level 1 experience, you're sitting back and you're like, man, there's something really cool going on in there. With the press of a button, you go like, all in browser, you go from that level 1 experience to that level 2 experience. We wanted to make it super accessible. So our level 2 experience is actually cloud streamed to your browser. So you don't need to have like a gaming rig to actually run it. So if you're running even like an old 2003 MacBook, you're still probably going to be okay to kind of get in there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's good that you've made it still accessible as well. So I'm just trying to visualize this. I know you're going to show us a demo in a moment. So you built this all out in Unity, and then so that's basically a gaming engine. So a lot of games are built in Unity. But how does the NFTs tie into it? Like, how does that get integrated into Unity, and what is the point of the NFT?
So the NFT serves a few purposes. So one, they actually act as a ticket to some of these exclusive events. So to get into this show that we partnered up with Kaskade for, you will need to own one of our NFTs to get in to view, either level 1 or level 2 experiences. But once you're in the game, you actually get access to in-game cosmetics. So for example, if you have a bot that has like these cool horns, like a cat face and, like a unique skin, those cosmetics are actually going to unlock for you in that game world for you to use. So it's a pretty cool. So like the more NFTs you actually own, the more cosmetics that you can use to kind of mix and match to customize your character.
Right. That is really cool. I didn't realize that, you could mix match different attributes from different NFTs. So that's absolutely awesome. So I've got my own. It's got it's a green character. It's got a crown. So that's essentially what I would be experiencing when I'm in the game, in the experience itself.
Correct. Yeah, we've got a lot of really cool hats that have like these particle effects that I think will be super high in demand, and it's going to look really cool just seeing like everyone's kind of unique feature bot running around the world.
Every time we explain it to people, they're kind of like, yeah, they nod their head and they're like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it really, no one really gets it until you get into the game. You have to participate in a Future Fest event, in an experience to really grasp what's happening. Even our level 1, for a long time, we were trying to explain, it's like, oh, we're grabbing a DJ, putting them in front of a green screen, and then we're beaming them into our world, and then you can set off reactions, and then people are just like, okay. But it's not until like you have 20,000 people in an event at the same time setting off fireworks that you're like, oh my god, this is a spectacle, and that's what we're happy. It's like our events are good, but they're only amazing when people get in and play.
So how many of these events have you guys actually done?
Let's see. We've done, I want to say, I don't know, at least like 6 major events. And we've done a bunch of these, at least probably 10 or more of these, a lot smaller ones. What do you think, Pablo? I mean, we've done a bunch of them.
We've done a lot. It's been 2 years of this. So we've been working on this for the past 2 years, this model of this iteration of Future Fest. And we've worked with major labels like Angina Beats, Dirty Bird, Space Yacht Records, and these are all bigger names in the EDM community. And them giving us a chance to actually show off our tech and have some of their artists performing has been amazing. Really big. I mean, one of our events, our Dirty Bird event, was a 3-day event. It was 12 hours each day. And it was insane. It was a huge event. But then we've also had like random shows with there's a gentleman called Daniel Lippin. And, he has a huge audience. And every time that we've played with him, we've had 20,000 people, It's been crazy. It's been insane the last 2 years. 20,000
people in a virtual event. That's incredible. Like, I can't imagine what kind of servers you guys are running in the back end to actually make this all work and all happen. That's absolutely amazing. Pretty incredible, really.
Yeah, just clarify for some of those events. Those ones are like those are mostly our level 1 shows. So those are just, people can just tune into the live stream. So we haven't had that amount in the actual world just because our level 2 is actually pretty new here. But getting to that level is not far off. We should be able to handle that many people.
So I understand that you guys are selling the NFTs as ticketing for the events, but like, how do you, is it enough? Is that enough to cover your costs? Like, I know like in a real music festival, whatever, like the costs are astronomical to get the artists in, to set up the staging and events and all that. What are the costs like for you guys in comparison? I'm assuming it's a lot smaller, but still there would be some costs there. Is the NFTs enough to cover it all? Like, is it a profitable kind of business for you guys?
Yeah, so I can explain some of the monetization. So a big goal of ours is actually to help the artists actually monetize, help the artists actually, survive off their community. Similar to how Twitch, people give, subscriptions or, donations. We want to have a similar aspect to it, but like give more value to, instead of just donating, you can actually, it's like, hey, maybe I can trigger an interaction in the world. Maybe I can actually buy some merch for my character based off that, that artist or that brand. So pretty much almost all the like in-game monetization around like cosmetics and those things will actually be split with the artists, because we actually want them to, make money off it as well. A lot of the costs associated right now are actually with running the actual cloud stream servers, because, essentially you're getting your own remote PC streamed directly to you. But a lot of that is actually covered, but we actually plan to cover that, with the NFT tickets, feature events, plus selling the in-game merch and items. We've also talked about how like a lot of virtual events right now are in people think they're not very good. Just in general, like people like go to virtual events and they've been it's almost been tainted by like the past events, it's just like, man, these events suck, like why would I pay this much money for them? So I'm big on like, how do we like kind of convey that value to people? So we were kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with like battle passes or season passes and like some like, larger battle royale games, but we're talking a lot about like, hey, like right now our NFT ticket kind of acts like a season pass. It's kind of like, hey, it's going to get you into these 3 exclusive events. The first one being Kaskade, but we also have tons of other events that are going to be popping up that this season pass ticket essentially gets you into.
That's absolutely amazing. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. So I've got one of these past things. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with later in the year to let me experience, I guess.
Yeah, it was a fine balance trying to figure out how ticketing was going to work. We found that most people weren't very interested in buying, a $15 ticket to watch a virtual event. I think at the time, Tomorrowland was doing a virtual event. It was like a 3-day event, and I think they sold like 1 million tickets at like $10 or something, and it was really impressive. But it was very, very hard to replicate. Tomorrowland is a big music festival, big brand name, a lot of sponsors, great acts, but like very hard to compete with something like that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we found that it was pretty difficult to get people to pay $10. But then with the NFT portion, we realized, PFPs are going for 50 ADA, no problem.
Yeah.
100 ADA, no problem. And it's just kind of like, well, how can we kind of like toe the line of providing a ticket that's also a really great PFP project, but that's also gives you real utility? Because our whole thing with NFTs were like, we love NFTs. We think the artwork is great. We think that all the community stuff is great. We're like, but at the end of the day, it's like, would our team buy it? And so that's when we really needed to think about like, what else does an NFT need to provide? And what else can an NFT provide in terms of utility? And that's where I think we're raising the bar with the NFT utility here, because we're doing a lot. It's not just a PFP, it's a ticket, it's in-game cosmetics. And then also if you have a deluxe future bot, you get 3 airdrops from the 3 exclusive events. The first event being Kaskade, and then the first airdrop being an official Kaskade CNFT, the first historic Kaskade CNFT. So I think
Okay.
now we're providing a lot of value for the customer, not just for the NFT, but like for any ticket.
Yeah. I like that. So you're engaging with the Cascade fan base and providing them that little extra value in there. So they've got the NFT, they're experiencing it, but then also an extra airdrop or whatever it is to get that little bonus afterwards as well. So it's really hitting the nail on the head there. Absolutely love it. And I also like the character development, the 3D character that you guys put together. It responds to those NFT collectors because they can see the rarities in all that. So if it's just a collector of the NFTs, they can buy, sell, trade, and there's plenty of these on the secondary markets being sold as well. And that's where I picked mine up. So it's I was lucky that I could find one that I resonated with and went, yeah, that one's perfect for me.
And that even goes a level deeper when we talk about rarity, because it's rarity. I think people just say my PFP has a rare item, and that item there's only so many of them in the world because of the the NFT. But for us, it's more like in game. There's only so many fire crowns available. So it's like if once more people start coming into our ecosystem and start playing in Feature Fest, not just from Cardano, because we're kind of blockchain agnostic. Our NFTs are on Cardano, but we're working also with Ethereum NFTs. So for our Kaskade event, if you're a Space Yacht Space Pass holder, you'll actually be able to come to the event as well. So we're reading wallets, like a MetaMask wallet, to also give those NFTs backwards utility. So now those NFTs work as tickets to come into our event also. But like there are only so many people that are going to ever be able to have a fire crown, in game. And
Yeah.
you're going to have to go to Cardano to buy that NFT to get it. So it's just even a deeper layer of like what rarity means, not just in Cardano, in our space, but now in our operable world that we're creating. Because we're eventually moving on to having Solana NFTs. And, I know I heard XRP is doing an NFT thing. So it's like, why not XRP also?
Sure.
Let's include as many blockchains in this, because when you go to a festival, it's not just one kind of person. It's not just one tribe. You need people from all over the place. So the more and more we become, able to have these wallets integrate with our systems and bring people in, the better the events are going to get, and probably more rare the feature bot items are going to be.
That's awesome. I did see the Space Yachts tickets on the website as well. I was wondering how that worked and what would their experience be like, because for the CNFT holders on Cardano, they're minting the robots themselves. So what would the Space Yachts guys get then if that's the case and they're coming in and experiencing it?
Yeah, I can kind of give some clarification there. So a lot of it is we don't necessarily need to create our own collection on these other chains, because we kind of do something called we like calling it backwards utility that we're giving to their collections. So for example, the Space Yacht Space Pass holders, essentially we're just reading their wallets, and when they come in, we can actually tie an in-game item directly to their Space Pass. So like, for example, we'll give them like a rocket jetpack for owning a Space Pass. We have an event coming up in May that I don't think I guess we fully announced it. It's called the Future Friends Music Festival, which is we partnered up with 6 different NFT projects, like everywhere from Project 2090, Benjamin's Group, Veggie Mates, Angel Baby Hit Squad, so some Ethereum, some Cardano. And essentially we've tied an actual item based off their brand to it. So for example, if you own a Veggie Mates and we read that you have one in your wallet, not only does it act as a ticket, so any of these NFTs, you don't even need to own a future bot. All these NFTs act as a ticket to our event, but also you'll get an in-game item associated with it. So like if you own a Veggie Mates, you'll get like a banana hat in the game. Or if you own the Agent Baby Hit Squad or Project 2090, you'll get these really cool custom wings for your character that are based off their brand. So things like that.
That's cool. That will really hit the nail on the head, I think, for some of those communities as well, because they're big fans. Like Angel Baby Hit Squad, it's all about the wings, right? So little in-game wings is going to be absolutely awesome.
It's all about cross-pollination.
Yeah.
If you go to like a Discord server you start seeing familiar names, right? If you go to the Vegemite server, if you go to the Soho Kids server, if you go to Benjamin's group, Future Fest, you start noticing the same people in there. And like people have multiples of NFTs. But like it's like, how can we take that one step further? And it's like in our Future Fest world, you're gonna be able to actually like see who the holder is. Like if you see a Future bot running around with a banana hat, it's like, oh, that guy's a Vegemite holder. You see some angel wings running around. He's like, oh, that dude has an angel baby hit squad.
Yeah.
But then really it's like, what am I wearing at this event? Like, how am I swagging out my Future bot? And that's the thing that's going to happen with during the Kaskade event. The Space Yacht holders, they're going to be able to access the event, but they're going to be getting a kind of there are a certain amount of default faces that you'll be able to get, like faces, colors, stuff like that for the bot. And so they'll be able to run around the world, but they won't have the the rare items they have that Future bot holders have.
Yeah.
And that's going to be true for public events also. So we're going to be having a lot of public events. It's not just these private Kaskade events. We want as many people to come into our world as possible. So throughout the next couple of months, there's plenty of public events where people can just join and get in the game and play. Like, we're not asking you to buy an NFT. We're gatekeeping, making sure that you have to have a Future bot to get in. We want you to play. So there's going to be plenty of free events. Actually, I know this is probably going to be shown in the future, but the last couple of weeks, we've been having an event called The Lab, where people can come in and just try Future bots, try out some of our new features, and just have fun and break the world if they can. So today we're actually having an event, and it's 100% free, and everybody can come in and just join and have a good time. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's how can we make this as accessible as possible to the masses?
Amazing. All right, I'll be jumping in on those other events as well, just to try it out and see what the experience is like.
So I have a local build up and running, which I can kind of show you what the lab is like today. The only downside is I'm not going to be able to show you the digital items, but what I can do is I can kind of give you like a fragmented experience, or like kind of go back and forth between what the web side and the actual
right.
game experience is like.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Let me share my screen here. But essentially what we have here is a pretty full-blown world experience where you can actually run around. I can trigger things like fireworks. I can throw glow sticks around. Got my little character here. We've actually added some really cool features like like spray paint, so you can actually spray in the world with other people. Got things like a little bounce house over here. Let's see. We've so this lab is actually kind of what we use to test new concepts and experimental like interactions for the most part in preparation for our big event. So since the Kaskade event is actually taking place inside a giant pinball world, we've added like these little pinballs, try out this, how people react or respond to these things. Got like these little different sprays that you can change it up and spray everywhere. And then also, of course, we've got the cars over here. But yeah,
that's awesome.
So we're adding a few other new features before the event that hopefully we get in 1 or 2 more labs for this Kaskade event. But there's so many cool features that we're going to be adding, and like the actual airdrop itself, I don't think anyone's going to expect what it is.
Okay.
But I can.
This is really cool.
I can show you what this actually looks like on the website. So right now, this is actually still trying to connect to the server here. But this side panel bar is kind of what I was explaining earlier. So there's a bunch of these default skins, but I've got a bunch of these NFT skins. And to kind of give you an idea, like these are the NFTs I own in my wallet right here. So I got like this hat, this frost crown, these flowers, all these unique faces. And because it's reading my wallet, I'm actually able to see that like, hey, these are the actual, I have a bunch of face plates unlocked now that are tied to my NFTs. I got a bunch of these other faces, got some like really cool hats. And if I click on any of these, what will happen in the world is actually it'll change them in real time. So we're really excited to show that off today.
That is a really cool feature. I like it. Maybe I have to get another little robot then. Add more to my collection so I can have more of these little assets on my my digital self. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's all about personalization. How do you want to be seen in this virtual world?
Okay.
It matters.
So I have to ask, how on earth did you guys get Kaskade for this event? It's it's like Kaskade is one of those artists that I, through my university years, Kaskade was like, my number one like DJ, and I absolutely love his music. Listened to, for the last decade, really. How did this happen? And how did you get him to perform for this event?
Our really good friends and partners at Space Yacht. Space Yacht Records is it's kind of a well-known label in the EDM world. They've been around for almost 6 years. They throw parties all the time. They help produce events at like Coachella and anything, like more events that you would think. They help produce them. They help do the talent buying, and they're just also great guys. But 2 years ago, they're the ones that actually gave us a shot. They were the first ones that saw what we were doing at Future Fest with our level 1 shows, and they gave us a shot. So through them, we were able to work with artists like OK, Martin Hoger, Arias, Alert, and just getting a chance to work with them was an honor, because for us, like in the EDM scene here in Los Angeles, those guys are top tier.
Yeah.
And they're also they were one of the first projects on Nifty Gateway, if you're familiar with that site. And so they created a lot of NFTs, and they were actually the first people that we ever heard make NFTs. And so they kind of put us onto what they were doing there. And that's where our idea for FutureBot started evolving from. Was we were like, okay, well, what's an NFT and how does utility work for NFTs? So they helped spawn a lot of ideas for us. And also they just helped us guide us through this kind of like world, because we were so familiar with, the Future Fest guys have been doing this for about 6 years, creating virtual worlds in VR and like figuring that stuff out. I myself have experience in music. I work as like a music licensing specialist. I have my master's in music business, but those guys were like, well experienced and versed in working in the EDM world. So it was great to have them kind of like just guide us through this whole process. And when we told them what we were making, they were blown away, because they saw what level 2 was. They saw how fast it was. They saw the fidelity. They were like, this is blowing all the other metaverse projects out of the water. And they were like, how can we help? And the first thing we said was, okay, we need talent. Like, we need a big name. We need someone huge to bring onto our platform that people will recognize, and also will help give us some more clout in the space. Because once we have someone big enough, then other people will be like, hey, what's happening over here? And that's what we're looking for. So through Space Yacht, they're helping us talent buy for this event, and they were able to get Kaskade. Kaskade's a very good friend of Rami Perlman, and he's one of the co-founders of Space Yacht. So they were able to like broker a deal, and that's how we got him to come onto our platform. And we're really excited to have Kaskade himself, because I mean, as you know, like Kaskade is EDM legend, multi-Grammy nominated artist. 12, like I think it's like 11 or 12 studio albums. He like produced a whole soundtrack for like Rocket League. He did like a Fortnite Metaverse event. He's the first DJ to perform at Coachella, first DJ to have a Las Vegas residency. Like, this man's like achievements go on and on and on.
He is an
so we were happy to be
legend.
able to like work with him. Yeah, we were just being able to work with him is an honor, and bringing him to a Cardano audience, I think it's a big deal. I think it's a huge deal, actually. It's historic.
Yeah.
And we're just hoping that everybody comes and checks out the show, because we made this for you,
Yep. And my God, I seriously can't wait. But how can people get in on this event? How can they experience it? What are the details for it?
Yeah, I mean, all you need are so actually the event takes place on April 14th. The actual time of the event is still up in the air, but we're thinking around we want to hit East and West Coast times in the US, at least like so around like maybe 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. PST, in that range so far. We haven't finally decided on the time. All you need to get into the event is just one of our NFTs or one of Space Yacht's space passes. So we're actually doing our mint coming up on April 4th, and that's going to last until April 10th. So yeah, if you can snag one there or snag one in secondary.
Is there a limited amount of NFTs that you're selling on the Cardano side?
Yeah, so we have two collections. The first one is the regular FeatureBot collection, which is a 10K collection, and the deluxe FeatureBots, which are a 3,333 collection. A lot of people, look at that number and they're like, oh, it's a massive amount of, it's a massive volume. But the main thing that we're going for here is that these events, you need a lot of people in them to actually make the world feel alive. Like, sure, you can still have fun of 10 people, but if you have 50 people running around in that world, the entire experience changes, because we're going for like a very social experience here. So that's why at the end of the day, we're like, just because of the nature of NFTs, people like to hold many of them. We want to be, as accessible as possible to, get as many people in as we can.
And also, like, the Kaskade event is only our first exclusive show. There are still 2 more shows happening later this year and 2 more airdrops associated with the deluxe FeatureBots with those events. So let's say, for example, we don't sell out right away. That's not really a problem. For us, it's more, again, how can we make this as accessible to more people? And we believe that every artist that we work with moving forward will have an audience that will want to come to these shows. For example, Kaskade has 1 million followers on Twitter alone, not to mention Instagram and Facebook. And, like, there are a lot of people that want to come see Kaskade that don't have that chance because they live in Canada, they live in South Africa, they live in Japan, and they're not going to get a chance to see Kaskade, but they love them. Well, here's your chance. Grab a FeatureBot, get in the game, and there you go. You get your Kaskade performance. And making that accessible for people is really what it's all about.
So you guys are nice enough to actually provide the audience with an NFT as well. So I'm assuming we can do a little Twitter competition or something. What are you planning to give away for us?
Yes, we are giving away a FeatureBot to your audience. All they need to do is follow you and FutureFest on Twitter, tag 2 friends, and retweet the tweet, and they'll be able to be qualified to win. And that acts as your ticket to get into the Kaskade event on April 14th.
Brilliant. I'll put a link to the tweet down in the show notes for everyone so they can find out more about the event as well. I'm really looking forward to this one. I absolutely love it. And I think this is probably my first decent metaverse experience as well. And I'm looking forward to watching and seeing the metaverse experiences grow and develop on Cardano as well, which I'm really excited about.
Thank you. Yeah, we hope that your audience enjoyed this interview. I hope that they go to futurefest.io. Please take a look at our white paper, because our white paper explains so much more. There's a lot of layers behind FutureFest that we couldn't get into today because it's a lot. So please go check out our white paper at futurefest.io. Visit us on Twitter, and jump in our Discord. Get to know our community. See what's happening there. Come talk to other music lovers, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the digital dance floor.
Yeah, so as Pablo said, here's futurefest.io, our site. Just as a quick run through, you can kind of see what the FeatureBots themselves look like. You can see some of the event details. We've got a video here that's not loading. Let me refresh it. But we've got some details about Kaskade. If you don't know who he is, you're going to be able to see kind of what the experience is like. We've got some info about how to attend if you're new to Cardano. I imagine a lot of you know, but for a lot of the audience that isn't familiar, we have a quick walkthrough. I think the coolest part about this whole site is our shows down here, which we actually have a bunch of our past shows on here that you can actually rewatch the entire thing if you'd like, kind of skim through it. One of my favorites is this Anjuna Beats Fatum show, which is one of our level 1 experiences, but we did an insane show tailored towards their brand. And yeah, I mean, we're a completely doxed team. Please check us out. Yeah, join the Discord. We're super happy to answer any questions you guys have. And yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing you guys on April 14th.
And I'm really hoping a lot of people jump in and from the Cardano community and really experience what this is like. Like I was saying before, I don't think any other project has gone to this point where it's gone so deep with an immersive experience like this. So I'm really looking forward to experiencing, and I hope a lot of the Cardano community jump on board and experience this as well.
This is a historic moment. This is a historic moment for Cardano. It's a historic moment for live streaming events, and we just want to make sure nobody misses it. Yeah, like, it's going to be fun. It's going to be an experience.
All right, let's make it happen. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks so much.
Please check out their website. I absolutely love what they're doing. And so this isn't a project that's going to come in like a year's time. It's coming in 2 weeks' time on the 14th of April when you're going to experience Kaskade. So if you really want to get in, you do need one of those NFTs or one of the Space Yacht tickets if you're on an Ethereum space. But soon, who knows, they'll be integrating in other chains and there'll be other ways of getting in and experience this. Make sure you check out the links for the competition, that little giveaway as well, where you can possibly win one of the NFTs to get yourself into the space and experience what Future Fest have and what Kaskade and his music is like as well. I'm really looking forward to this event. Hopefully I'll see you there as well. So out of full disclosure, I didn't get paid for this event. The Future Fest team didn't contact me. I contacted them, and I also bought my own Future Bot too. So it's purely because I love Kaskade, and that's how they managed to get this interview. So if you really enjoy this type of content, please give me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on the notification bell, and you hear more from me real soon.